Welcome to the Brain Alpha. Today, we're diving into an explainer that is absolutely going to shatter the way you view your own work ethic. We are getting right into it and talking about destroying your procrastination habits once and for all. So, if you've ever felt like you just can't get things done, well, you are definitely in the right place. So, let me paint a picture for you. You know the feeling, right? You wake up on a Monday, you're fully energized, and you say, okay, today is the day. I'm going to learn that new skill. I'm finally going to finish that massive project. And yet, somehow, you blink, it's 2 p.m., and you've spent the last 3 hours just mindlessly swiping through your phone. Sound familiar? And what do we do next? We completely, unfairly blame ourselves. We look in the mirror, we think we just lack willpower, and we tell ourselves that we simply don't have the personality or the drive to succeed. But what if I told you that's completely wrong? Here is a paradigm-shifting truth for you. Laziness is not your personality. It's a brain bug. You aren't actually lazy. Your brain has simply been hijacked and, honestly, completely brainwashed by the toxic, ultra-stimulating environment we live in today. It is not a character flaw. It is quite literally a software glitch caused by the inputs you are feeding your mind. And because of this, trying to force yourself to work hard through sheer, grinding effort, it's a total losing game. It's just exhausting. True success doesn't come from forcing it. It requires shifting your brain's default settings through environmental design.
All right, so let's kick things off with Section 1, the myth of laziness. You really have to change the world around you so that doing the hard work actually becomes your natural default.
Which brings us right to Section 2, curate your digital diet. It turns out, human behavior is almost entirely dictated by our daily consumption. Think about what happens when you're constantly consuming those highly relatable memes about procrastinating, skipping work, or always being tired. You might laugh and, yeah, you feel understood in the moment, but secretly, that normalizes laziness. It literally programs your brain to think, hey, everyone else is slacking off, so I guess this is just the baseline standard. You are poisoning your own productivity without even realizing it. You have to flip that. On one hand, you've got doom scrolling through toxic trends, which just drags your baseline down. On the other, you have following inspiring creators. A seriously effective strategy here is to create a brand new social media account dedicated purely to growth. Follow only the people who are living the exact life you want, people who are just crushing their goals. You need to actively censor your feed so that when you look at your phone, high performance is literally all you see. When your brain absorbs that new standard, suddenly, doing nothing feels completely unnatural.
And that builds perfectly into Section 3, hack your smartphone habit.
Look, your smartphone isn't evil. We shouldn't demonize it, and let's be real. We can't just throw our iPhones into the ocean and live off the grid. It's essential modern infrastructure. However, it is the ultimate dopamine machine, and it absolutely needs to be strategically tamed, because otherwise, it's going to tame you. You've got to flip the script here. Contrast mindless swiping on TikTok and Instagram, which traps you in this really cheap dopamine loop, with repurposing your phone as a weapon for growth. How do you do that? By moving those distracting apps completely off your home screen and placing learning apps front and center. You dictate what the tool does, not the other way around. 15. That is literally all it takes. By gamifying learning apps, like, say, taking a quick language lesson on Duolingo for just 15 minutes a day, you radically lower the hurdle of effort. You're still using your phone, right? You're still getting that quick interactive feedback loop, but you are drastically upgrading the quality of your time. It proves to your brain that starting something productive isn't actually all that painful.
Okay, moving on to Section 4, stop rushing your deadlines.
We all know the frantic, last-minute work dash. You wait until the pressure is just unbearable, and then you sprint to the finish line on pure, unadulterated adrenaline. But this creates a massive problem. It leads to incredibly shallow thinking. And worse, if you keep doing this over and over, it permanently molds you into a sloppy person. You train your brain to care only about getting it done instead of getting it right. But if you start early, even if it's something as unbelievably simple as just downloading the document you need the day before, you create a mental buffer. You give your subconscious the margin it needs for creativity to actually kick in. This simple habit of pre-starting is what separates top performers from the rest of the pack. It removes the panic and replaces it with polish.
Let's dive right into Section 5, reverse plan your month to beat daily overwhelm. Have you ever looked at a massive daily to-do list and just felt a literal wave of nausea? When we pack our daily lists with endless tasks, the brain gets totally overwhelmed. It actually shuts down out of self-defense and goes straight back to your phone looking for an escape. Daily planning can honestly just be way too high pressure. The fix for this overwhelm is the monthly reverse planning method. Step 1, you set your big 1-month deadline. Step 2, you break that down into weekly milestones. Step 3, you execute your daily tasks based on that much larger map. Why does this matter? Because seeing the big picture absorbs all the little hiccups of daily life. If you get sick or have an emergency on a Tuesday, you don't panic because you know your weekly milestone is still entirely within reach. It completely eliminates that crushing daily anxiety.
Which brings us to a massive productivity killer in Section 6, beat daily decision fatigue.
So you have something called cognitive resources. Basically, your brain has a strict daily decision limit. Think of it exactly like the battery on your smartphone. Every single choice you make drains that battery just a little bit more. Think about the basics. What to eat for breakfast, what to wear, who to email first, when to actually start working. These seem like trivial daily choices, right? But they are secretly draining your brain's battery. If you waste your battery on these tiny things, by the time you actually sit down to do the deep, meaningful work, you are already exhausted. And when your brain is exhausted, you just binge Netflix instead of actually building your dream.
Consider the classic Steve Jobs anecdote. He notoriously wore the exact same black turtleneck and jeans every single day. Why? Because he eliminated daily clothing choices to save his energy for building Apple. Highly successful people do not rely on willpower. They ruthlessly protect their cognitive resources. They automate the boring stuff so they can totally dominate the important stuff. 5. It only takes 5 minutes the night before to completely bypass decision fatigue for the next morning. Seriously, if you want to wake up and conquer your day, you have to win the battle the night before. Here is the exact night before setup routine you need. Step 1. Open the laptop and just leave it on your desk. Step 2. Lay out the specific work or materials you're going to need. Step 3. Well, when you wake up, you are essentially on automatic pilot. The very moment you wake up, the path of least resistance is to just sit down and start. You are quite literally eliminating the choice to be lazy.
So to bring this whole thing together, think about this. Willpower fails, but environment and systems never betray you. True life change happens when you finally stop trying to white-knuckle your way through life, relying on a finite supply of willpower. You've got to stop blaming your personality. Start controlling your environment, curate those inputs, and design systems that make success your absolute default.
The only question left is, are you ready to upgrade your brain's environment? Seriously, take a look around your room right now. Is your space designed for the person you currently are or the person you want to become? It is time to take control of your inputs, hack your habits, and build the systems that will let your true potential actually shine. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and help us build the hype. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.